This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Agutiyar, Gemar Chasima Tova. A few thoughts regarding Yom Kippurim, Haba Aleinu L'Tova, from the Sefer Bnei Yissaschar. The Bnei Yissaschar brings in Maimer Vav for Tzayma Rabbah an idea from the Rav HaKadosh, the Noyam Megadim of Tarnigrad, on the pasuk in Yeshaya. The pasuk says, "K'may hara takriv laledes, tachil tizak b'chavleha, kein hayinu mipanecha Hashem." Literally, k'may hara, like a pregnant woman, takriv laledes, that approaches to give birth, tachil, she trembles, tizak, she cries out, b'chavleha, in her labor pains. So too we stand before you, Hashem. So the question is, if we're talking about a pregnant woman, does a pregnant woman tremble and cry out when she's takriv, when she's coming close to giving birth? That's not when she's trembling and crying out. She's trembling and crying out when she's al hamashber, on the birthing stool, not as she's approaching. What's this lashon of takriv? So the Noya Megadim says like this: Reb Shimon is doirish time of the kra. Reb Shimon wants to know, why does a yoledes bring a carbon? We know that after a woman gives birth, she brings a carbon. Because we know that when a woman crouches to give birth, she says, "I cannot believe I allowed my husband to live with me and to impregnate me. What was I thinking? Why did I allow this? Why did I allow my husband to do this to me? I swear," she says, "I'm never going to do this again." So therefore, after she gives birth, she has to bring a carbon, because obviously it's a shvuas shav. Now, here's the thing. This is not the last time the woman lets the husband live with her. But that means that when she is mater the neder, even though she knows, and everyone knows, she's going to swear again, and more than that, everyone knows that she's going to live with the guy again. At the time, think about it. She comes, she wants to be mater neder. We say, "Lady, why do you want to be mater neder?" Because if I would have, I wasn't thinking, I knew it was going to hurt so much, but I have to be with my husband, so I have to be mater the shvua. But lady, you're going to become pregnant again one day. No, never. Well, we'll deal with it. So think about it. She's being mater the shvua, even though she knows she's basically going to go back to her bad ways and swear again that she's never going to be with the husband. So we say like this. This is what the Navi is telling Knesset Yisrael. Just like a woman, not as she approaches to give birth, K'may hara, like a pregnant woman, takriv, who's makriv a carbon. That's what the pasuk means. It doesn't mean as she's approaching to give birth. It means as she's being makriv a carbon, laledes, but she trembles and she cries out. So too, that's what we do on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Here it is. We come early. It's a Sunday morning. We're doing Chuva. We're trying to investigate our ways. We're trying to improve our ways. We're trying to overcome bad habits. We say, okay, from now on, Hashem, I'm going to come early to davening. Really? But in 2 weeks, you're going to come late again. No, but right now I'm going to come early. Yeah, but you already said that 17 different times. So we say to Knesset Yisrael, do the tshuva. You could be like the pregnant woman, even though she knows she's going to end up swearing again that she's going to never be with the husband. Nevertheless, we keep on sliding with her. So that's the analogy to tshuva. Yeah, so basically the point is that even though there's a certain dishonesty to the whole thing, because how genuine is the change going to be? But it's like the pregnant woman. Now the Bnei Yissaschar has this idea on the pasuk, Lechuna v'nivachecha yomer Hashem. Now what does that mean? God is saying, come to judgment. Now when someone is being summoned to judgment, do you say, please come to judgment? When the court summons a person, do they say, pretty please with the cherry on top, could you please come to the court? Get to the court! It's a summons. It's not you don't ask please, it's an unusual expression. L'chuna v'nivachecha yomer Hashem. You know, in the Chol Ma'aminim, which is one of the most important tefillos on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, Chol Ma'aminim was niskan by Ezra, HaSofer, and Nehemiah. Every word of Chol Ma'aminim are Shemos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, beginning with the word Ha'oiches, which is Shem Havaya, Gematria. Havadai Shemoi, Vadai, by Yivarach David es Hashem. Vadai is one of God's name. Hehagoi, Be'ekya Asher Ekya. Ekya is Hashem's name. 21 times 21 is what? 421 is MS. 441. B'chol ma'aminim shehu dayan MS 441 hehagoi be'ekya 21 times 21. The whole thing is kuloi shemais. It's one of the... Anyway, and then we have a tefillah of badin, b'yoim din. Lefoyel rachamaha badin. What does that mean? He's poyel rachamim in din. He's marachem in the din. So Bnei Yissaschar explains as follows. There's a halacha. Hashem follows the halacha. One day we have to give a shiur on that topic. Does Hashem follow the halacha? So there's a halacha that if you are summoned to court and the guy on the right, one of the Balei Dinim, is dressed to the nines, he's wearing custom-made suit with he's all spiffed up, then the Dayanim can't judge the other guy if the other guy looks like a schlepper. So basically, they bring in the tailor and they make the schlepper a custom-made suit. Otherwise, the Dayanim can't judge the case. So Hashem, what is Hashem wearing in judgment? He's wearing white. He's pure. He's immaculate. So Hashem says, I beg you, please stand in judgment with me. Because if you're going to stand in judgment with me, I'm going to take off your machalotzos, your begadim tsoyim. I'm going to remove all your dirty, smelly, filthy, soiled garments. And I'm going to put on you what I'm wearing. So, al yedei the din, Hashem is mechaper avoinois badin, says Bnei Yissaschar. That's the poyo racham of badin. Now there's a famous idea we've spoken out in the past. By the way, it's interesting. We know that when we say vidoy, there are different ways of saying vidoy. One is, you say vidoy in the lashon of the aleph beis, right? Ashamnu, bagadnu, and then some you say vidoy tashrak, backward, aleph beis backward. So that the Bnei Yissaschar says as marumas in the pasuk, v'hisvadu es avoinoisam v'es avoinois avoisam. So the aleph is for the aleph beis forward, the taf is for the aleph beis backward. Okay. Did you ever realize that the name of the Masechta that talks about Yom Hakippurim has no meaning whatsoever? What is the name of Maseches for Yom Hakippurim? Yuma. Yuma means the day. What kind of name is that? What do you mean, the day? What day? Why is it called? Say it should be Yom Hakippurim. We call it Yom Kippur. Why don't we call it Yom Kippur? Why do we call it Yuma? You ever notice that in Parshas Acharei Mos, it starts off, Vayidaber Hashem Acharei Mos Shnei Bnei Aaron Mirozim Hashem Vayamusu Vayomer Daber Aaron Achicha Ve'al Yavai V'chaleis Al HaKodesh Miveis Ki Yimei Anon Eirah Al HaBezois Vayal Aaron Al HaKodesh. When? It doesn't say what day the Kohen Gadol needs to do the Avodah. You know that? Doesn't say. Does not say when. Every other carbon in the whole Chumash, it starts off Chamisha Asar Yom HaChodesh HaRishon, and it doesn't say when Yom Kippur is. So the Gemara says that's right, because the Kohen Gadol could do it every day. But the Bnei Yissaschar also deals with this idea. Why is Masechta Yom HaKippurim? We have Shabbos, we have Pesachim, we have Rosh Hashanah, we have Sukkah. So it should be called Yom HaKippurim. It's called Yuma. In the old days, in the Alta Haim, you never said Yom Kippur. You didn't say the word. It was called Yom HaKadosh.
Yom what?
Yom HaKadosh, the holy day. The holy day. Why? Because Yom Kippur is different than every other day of the world, every other day of the year. Yom Kippur is the Shem Havaya that comes down to this world and manifests itself as a day. Yom Kippur is the name of Hashem materializing as a Yom. So just like we don't say the Shem Havaya, there was a Hakpada not to say the word Yom Kippur, because it's Hashem's name. And that's why we call Masechta Yuma. And that's why it has to be hidden, and the Torah doesn't even give us the date until the end of the story. But by the way, at the end of many psukim it says, by the way, this happens to be on the 10th day of the 7th month. So it's hidden. It's from Olam de Iskasaya. Which, what?
Which also doesn't say the day.
Well, all that. The pasuk says on the 10th day of the 7th month. It's interesting that the way the Shlach HaKadosh refers to Yom Hakippurim, he quotes from the Sefer Toila'as Yaakov, that what Yom Kippur is Olam Haba, coming down to this world. Okay, so imagine what Olam Haba looked like. So Hashem takes a day out of Olam Haba and He brings it down to this world. So since Olam Haba is Ayin Loi Ra'asa Aleikim Zolasecha, nobody could see Olam Haba, therefore the Torah has to hide the date, so to speak. Because this is coming from a different realm, this is coming from a different dimension of existence. We don't even say the name of the day. The Masechta is Masechta Yuma. There's a question, we say, Ki Bayoim Hazeh or Biyoim Hazeh? Ki Bayoim Hazeh. How do we say it? Okay, we have a Chumash. There's a big machlokes between Rabbi and the Chachamim, whether Yom Kippur is mechaper on itself, or you need to do tshuva for Yom Kippur to be effective. You know about this machlokes? This is the most important machlokes you need to know for Yom Kippur. In other words, let's say a person comes to shul, he puts on a kittel, he even gets it dry cleaned, and he gives kaparas, and he does all the good. He eats krepelach on Yom Kippur. He smells the esrog with the besamim in it, the shmeh. He does all the important things at Yom Kippur. The only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't do tshuva. That's the only thing he doesn't do. Does Yom Kippur do anything for him? Nothing. You could shmek the esrog, you could shmek the tabak, the smelling salts, you could get your kittel pressed with starch from executive dry cleaning, and it doesn't matter. You still have to do tshuva. That's what the Chachamim say. However, Rabbi holds that Yom Kippur is mechaper. Itzumay shel yoy mechaper. You know that? That's Rabbi Shita. But we don't paskin like Rabbi. We paskin, you could write out a check to the UJA, to Tomchei Shabbos, you could write out a check to Rabbinical Seminary of America, to Kehilas Feres Mordechai even. Doesn't do anything. Nothing. You need to do tshuva. However, Rebbe holds Yitzuma Shel Yom Mechaper. Now, the Rambam, when he codifies Yom Kippur, you know what the Rambam says? Yitzuma Shel Yom Mechaper. So what does that mean? That means, when you do tshuva, the day of Yom Kippur is mechaper. The day has koyach. You hear this? So even though we hold you need to do tshuva, but when you do tshuva, you activate the day. And when you activate the day itself is mechaper. Again, you have to do the tshuva, but when you do it, you're activating the day. Now, Ki ba'yoim hazeh, with this day, not on the day, with the day, Hashem is mechaper. But there are instances where the day itself is mechaper, even if you don't do tshuva. For example, the Gemara in Ksubas, today's Ksubah tells us a story that by Rebbe's Levaya, a bas kol came out and said, anyone who is at the levaya of Rebbe, mezuman hu l'chai olam haba. There was a launderer, and he couldn't make it. He couldn't make the levaya. So he had chalisha sadas. He said, I can't believe I missed it! And he jumped off the roof and he killed himself. So the bas kol said, he's also going to olam haba. Why would somebody at the levaya of Rebbe go straight to olam haba? Says Rabbi Yitzchak Elchanan in the Hakdama to Shaus HaTshuvas, Rebbe holds Itzumay Shel Yoim Mechaper. Yeah? You don't have to do tshuva. Shkula Misas Tzadikim, we know the death of the righteous is a kapara, like the paraduma. So just like Rebbe holds that Yom Kippur is mechaper without tshuva, the death of the righteous is mechaper without tshuva. So anyone who's at Rebbe's levaya, go straight to Olam Haba. So if you hang around with Rebbe, you get Itzumay Shel Yoim Mechaper. Here's another example. Let's say somebody dies after Yom Kippur. Most people, they end up dying after Yom Kippur, whenever it is, So we know that the Yom Kippur before they died, they did tshuva. That was until that day. But how do they get kapara from Yom Kippur until their day of death? So the Shuas Yaakov says, the next Yom Kippur, after they die, is mechaper for them. Yeah, but they don't do tshuva. They don't do tshuva on that Yom Kippur. Legabe them, they could go like Rebbe, that itzuma shoya mechaper. Hear this? That if somebody's not able to do tshuva because they're not alive, right? Usually, if somebody's not alive, it's very hard to do tshuva. So that the next Yom Kippur is mechaper, even if they don't do tshuva. So there's a koyach in the day itself. If somebody does not do tshuva, what does Misa do for them? Nothing. Misa is only mechaper with tshuva. That's frightening. That is very frightening. That is why b'chol eis yeh begadecha levanim. Person always has to do tshuva. We're going to talk about this by Kol Nidre. How often does a person have to do tshuva? Every time you sit down to eat a meal, you eat eggs, you do tshuva. You eat a bagel, you do tshuva. You eat an everything bagel, you do tshuva. You eat a poppy seed bagel, you do tshuva. You eat sesame seeds, you eat a bialy, you do tshuva. Before you go to sleep at night, you do tshuva. Before you go to sleep, you mahar b'tshuva. Before shkia, before the day is over, you do tshuva. Before Shabbos comes, you do tshuva. Before Rosh Chodesh comes, you do tshuva. Says the Chida, before you do a mitzvah, you're mahar b'tshuva. This way, when the time comes, you're good. B'chol eis yeh begadecha levanim. So you say, this is very depressing, Shiur. Well, the good thing is that you know what the happiest day of the year is? Yom Kippur is the happiest day of the year. The happiest day of the year. You thought it was Purim, Simchas Torah. No, that's nothing. Yom Kippur is the happiest day of the year. And it's not because you're going to be smelling the esrog with the besamim in it and the shmek. Yom Kippur is the happiest day of the year. You know why, says the Chasam Sofer, we sing the vidui? Different than we always say. We always say sing the vidui because the averas turn into mitzvahs. The Chasam Sofer says we sing the vidui because we're doing a mitzvah. You have to do a mitzvah b'simcha. Do you think Yom Kippur is the happiest day of the year? When you think of Yom Kippur, do you think of it as the happiest day of the year? That's the reason we make a Suda on Erev Yom Kippur. Because since it's a mitzvah, you should make a Suda on Yom Kippur. But Rafal Yair, you know why we don't make a Suda on Yom Kippur? Because we can't eat on Yom Kippur. So we make it on Erev Yom Kippur. That's what Rabbeinu Yonah writes. One of the reasons we make a big Suda on Erev Yom Kippur. You make a bash. You don't just sit there and you eat a kreppel and when's the next 24 hours going to be over? It's Besimcha Atzuma. We should have balloons. What?
2 Sudas.
At least one Suda, because why? You're Besimcha. Now, what's another reason why we have a Suda? Another reason is because if you don't eat on Erev Yom Kippur, it's going to be very hard to fast on Yom Kippur. People who don't eat Erev Yom Kippur find it very difficult to fast on Yom Kippur. Even though the Ri Hazaken would fast on the 10th of Tishrei and on the 11th of Tishrei, al Tzveika the Yoma. But we don't do that. So therefore, Rabbi Yoina writes that if you eat on Erev Yom Kippur, it's like you fasted 2 days, because you'll be able to utilize the fast twice as much if you eat good food on Erev Yom Kippur. And you know why else we fast on Erev Yom Kippur? We eat on Erev Yom Kippur? Okay, question. Let's say a guy wore shatnez, and then he did Chuva. What does the Chuva do for him? Chuva doesn't work on a lav. You need Chuva and Yom Kippur. For an asay, Chuva works. For a lav, you need Chuva and Yom Kippur. So what if a person wore shatnez on the 11th day of Tishrei? He's very worried. You know what he's worried? Because if he goes upstairs before the next Yom Kippur, how's he getting that off? So when Erev Yom Kippur comes, we have a Suda, Baruch Hashem, Shechiyanu v'kimanu v'giyanu azman hazeh, I could get off my lavin. Yeah, there are other, there are. Shabbos Drasha. Next, we say in Ne'ilah, Yach v'hiyenu b'tzel yadai tachas kanfei hashchina. Frag the Bnei Yissaschar, what do you mean tachas kanfei hashchina? You know that tachas kanfei hashchina is only for the Geirim? Yisrael are lamala mi kanfei hashchina? So he said, I asked my cousin, Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch of Zidichov, the Sar Beis HaZoyhar. And Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch told me that what it's referring to is the Sukkah. Yachbienu b'tzel yadeh. That's why Rav Shlomo Zalman says the same thing. Yachbienu, embrace us in the shade of your hand. The Sukkah is Ama Tefach. Yachbienu b'tzel yadeh. It's referring to the Sukkah. Yeah, that's what we got for today. So, Be'ezus Hashem, we should be zoicha that on the happiest day of the year, the Rebbe Hashem should be mechaper all of our avonos, and we should be zoicha to do tshuva me'ahava. So imagine if you owed somebody a lot of money. How much? Pick a number. $500,000. That's a good number. You owed somebody, how about $475,000? And it's not like the guy said, pay me back whenever you want. The guy knocks on your door. You have like these big stickers on the door that don't come off. Pay up. There are things on your tires. The doors are locked. You have to climb in through the window. It's not pleasant. And the guy said, you know what? Do you a favor. You come one day. You ask me for forgiveness. Not only I meichel your debt, I'm going to give you a lot of money. How much? $390,000. That's going to be a happy day. It's going to be a good day. You start off in the red, you end off in the green. So Elliot HaKoyin. So on Yom Kippur, we come in, we start off in the red, and we do tshuva me'ahava, and then all the averos turn into mitzvahs. That's a good thing. So Hashem should give us the strength and the wherewithal and the emotion and the focus and the madrega to be able to do a proper tshuva, a tshuva shalema, and we come out of the day in the green, and the Rebbe Shem should tell us, Lech echa b'simcha es lachmecha. And by the way, when a person does averos, when a person is chas v'shalom not in a good path, then the sitra achra comes and takes away all the mitzvahs. You know that when a person learns Torah, when they're not in a good place, the Sitra Achra comes and takes away all the Torah. So that's why when Yom Kippur is over, you get first of all the Averos are gone. They're turned into mitzvahs. All the past year's mitzvahs that were like put in escrow, they come. It's a happy time, Sukkot. It's mamish shefa min hashamayim of ruchnias. So the Rebbe Shem should help us to do what we need to do, and we should be zoicha to Gmar Chesima Tova and a good Geben Shtiar. And Kalto, thank you for coming.
You've just just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.